Janaram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayesha vadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda gopa kumaraya govindaya namo namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, can you confirm if you see my screen? Can you hear me well?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So,
You can see
in
your screen.
chapter 12, 7th canto. Not actually, we don't need this. This is okay. So from here, last time, who read the verse 7th canto 11th chapter? Was it Sugandha Mataji or Parminder? I think Parminder Mataji, if I'm not wrong. And when was the last time Sadish Prabhu you read?
About 2 months back, I think, Prabhuji.
When?
About 2 months, I think, Prabhuji, 1.5 2 months.
But I think it was also 11th chapter, if I'm not wrong. 7th canto.
Okay, no, sorry, Prabhuji. I think I read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji, not Bhagavad. That's when you can help me with the pronunciation of some words, Prabhuji.
Okay, anyway, maybe you'd like to read this
Yes,
part?
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. That's right.
As anyway, you joined the first person, so.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narada Muni said, a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. With great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukul only for the benefit of the Guru. At both junctions of day and night, namely in the early morning and in the evening, he should be fully absorbed in the thoughts of the spiritual master, fire, the sun god, and Lord Vishnu. And by chanting the Gayatri mantra, he should worship them. Being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Every day, before the beginning of his studies and the end of his studies, the disciple should respectively offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. Carrying pure kusha gas in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deerskin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with the sacred thread as recommended in the Shastras. The brahmachari should go out morning and evening to collect alms, and he should offer all that he collects to the spiritual master. He should eat only if ordered to take the food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may, I think, he may sometimes have to fast. A brahmachari should be quite well behaved and gentle and should not eat or collect more than necessary. He must always be active and expert, fully believing in the instructions of the spiritual master and the Shastras. Fully controlling his senses, he should associate only as much as necessary with women or those controlled by women. A brahmachari or one who has not accepted the grahastha ashram family life must rigidly avoid talking with women or about women, for the senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order of life. If the wife of the spiritual master is young, a young brahmachari should not allow her to care for his hair, massage his body with oil, or bathe him with affection like a mother. Woman is compared to fire, and man is compared to a butter pot. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secular place. Similarly, he should also avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise. As long as living entity is not completely self-realized, as long as he is not dependent of the misconception of identifying with his body, which is nothing but a reflection of the original body and senses, he cannot be relieved of the conception of duality, which is epitomized by the duality between man and woman. Thus, there is every chance he will fall down because his intelligence is bewildered. All the rules and regulations apply equally to the householder and the sannyasi, the member of the renounced order of life. The grahastha, however, is given permission by the spiritual master to indulge in sex during the period favorable for procreation. Brahmacharis or grahasthas who have taken the vow of celibacy, as described above, should not indulge in the following: applying powder or ointment to the eyes, massaging the head with oil, massaging the body with hands, seeing a woman or painting a woman's picture, eating meat, drinking wine, decorating the body with flower garlands, smearing scented ointment on the body, or decorating the body with ornaments. These they should give up. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who is twice born, namely a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, should reside in the Gurukul under the care of the spiritual master. He should study and
Did we miss him, or is it only I can't hear him?
oh, sorry, Roja, I went on mute by mistake. I pressed mute. Yes, Roja. There he should
Can
study
you read
and learn.
from 13, 14?
Yes, Roja. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who's twice born, namely the Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, should reside in the Gurukul under the care of the spiritual master. There he should study and learn all the Vedic literatures along with the supplements and the Upanishads according to his ability and power to study. If possible, the student or disciple should reward the spiritual master with the remuneration the spiritual master request and then following the master's orders. The disciple should leave and accept one of the other ashramas, namely the Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, or Sannyasa ashrama, as he desires. One should realize that in the fire, in the Supreme Master, and in one's self, and in all living entities, in all circumstances and conditions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu has simultaneously entered and not entered. He is situated externally and internally as the full controller of everything. By practicing in this way, whether one be in brahmachari ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, or sannyas ashrama, one must always realize the all-pervading presence of the Supreme Lord. For In this way, it is possible to understand the absolute truth. O king, I shall now describe the qualifications for a vanaprastha, one who has retired from family life. From rigidly following the rules and regulations for the vanaprastha, one can easily be elevated to the upper planetary system known as the Maharloka. A person in vanaprastha life should not eat grains grown by tilling of the fields. You should also not eat grains that have grown without tilling of the field but are not fully ripe. Nor should a vanaprastha eat grains cooked in fire. Indeed, he should eat only only fruit ripened by the sunshine. A vanaprastha should prepare cakes to be offered in sacrifice from fruits and grains grown naturally in the forest. When he obtains some new grains, he should give up his old stock of grains. A vanaprastha should prepare a thatched cottage or take shelter of a cave in a mountain only to keep the sacred fire. But he should personally practice enduring snowfall, wind, fire, rain, and the shining of the sun. The vanaprastha should wear mated locks of hair on his head and let his body hair, nails, and mustache grow. He should not cleanse his body of dirt. He should keep a water pot, deerskin, and rod, wear the bark of a tree as a covering, and use garments colored with fire. Being very
Like
thoughtful,
fire.
Krishna,
Colored like fire.
okay, sorry, which is colored like fire. Being very thoughtful, a vanaprastha should remain in the forest for 12 years, 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, or at least 1 year. He should behave in such a way that he will not be disturbed or troubled by too much austerity. When, when because of disease or old age, one is unable to perform his prescribed duties for advancement in spiritual consciousness or study of the Vedas, he should practice fasting, not taking any food. He should properly place the fire element in his own self and in this way give up bodily affinity by which one thinks the body to be one's self or one's own. One should gradually merge the material body into the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. A sober, self realized person who has full knowledge should merge the various parts of the body in their original sources. The holes in the body are caused by the sky. The process of breathing is caused by the air. The heart of the body is caused by fire and semen, blood, and mucus are caused by water. The hard substances like skin, muscle, and bone are caused by earth. In this way, all the constituents of the body are caused by various elements and they should be merged again into those elements. Thereafter, the object of speech, along with the sense of speech, the tongue, should be bestowed upon fire. Craftsmanship, craftsmanship and the two hands should be given to the demigod Indra. The power of movement and the legs should be given to Lord Vishnu. Sensual pleasure along with the genitals should be bestowed upon Prajapati. The rectum with the power of evacuation should be bestowed in its proper place unto Mrityu. The oral instrument along with the sound vibration should be given to the deities presiding over the direction, to the deities presiding over the directions. The instrument of touch along with sense objects of touch should be given to Vayu. Form with the power of sight should be bestowed upon the sun. The tongue along with demigod Varuna should be bestowed upon water. And the power of smell along with the two Ashwini Kumara demigods should be bestowed upon the earth. The mind, along with all material desires, should be merged in the moon demigod. All the subject matters of intelligence, along with intelligence itself, should be placed in Lord Brahma. False ego, which is under the influence of the material modes of nature and which induces one to think, I am this body, and everything connected with this body's mind should be merged along with the material activities. In Rudra, the the predominant deity of false ego, material consciousness, along with the goal of thought, should be merged in the individual living being, and the demigods acting under the modes of material nature should be merged along with the perverted living being into the supreme being. The earth should be merged in water, water in the brightness of the brightness into the air into the sky into the false ego into the total material energy, the total material energy into the unmanifested ingredients, the pradhana feature of the material energy, and at last the ingredient feature of the material manifestation into the super soul. When all the material designations have thus emerged into the respective
That's
material
much.
element, sorry, yeah, thus merged into the respective material elements, the living beings who are ultimately completely spiritual, being one in quality with the Supreme Being, should cease from material existence as flames cease when the wood in which they are burning is consumed. When the material body is returned towards various material elements, only the spiritual being remains. This spiritual being is Brahmana and is equal in quality with Parabrahman. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Satish Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So much gyan you got.
Yes, Prabhuji. Very deep, Prabhuji. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So. So, of course, this chapter is short and also not many purports are there, but the purpose is very clear. The purpose, as the title highlights, the perfect society is possible when the four spiritual classes also are there. If you remember in the last chapter, in the 11th chapter, it is about um, the Varnas, yeah. And here we are talking about ashramas. So when we have for the perfect society, we need both. We need four classes, spiritual classes, and also four material classes, which are based on the duties or varnas. श्री नारद उवाच ब्रह्मचारी गुरुकुले वसन् दान्तो गुरोर्हितम् आचरन् दासवन् नीचो गुरौ शुद्रौ sorry सुदृढ सौहृद सौहृद what is the meaning? One second. सुदृढ दृढ yeah, sorry, firmly सुदृढ सौहृदः. So we see it's very important that anyway everyone's life starts as a student, mm, unless one thinks that no, I know everything. Um, Such a person is not suitable to be a student. A student is one who is always thinking that I want to know, I want to learn. Of course, today in the world, we are eager to learn so many things like different technologies, different methodologies, different strategies, and all these things of how to lead a happy life. Yeah. So, in any way, a student is there, but the right student is one who controls his senses. This is very important. And it needs determination, it needs dedication, yeah, it needs discipline. When we have these three D's, yeah, then we can direct ourselves in devotion, which is the actual four. So a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. This is very important. What does this mean is that a friend is always eager to offer everything of his own uh, to please his friend. The relationship between the spiritual master and the student is also uh, a friendship, yeah, which means that okay, there is of course awe and reverence, there is respect, but always eager to render service for the pleasure of the spiritual master. So this firm faith, friendship should be there, and with a great vow that brahmachari should live at Gurukul only for the benefit of the Guru. Yeah, today's world, do we have a genuine gurus? Because yeah, I know in school days those were the teachers who used to have students to whom they used to teach or what do you call conduct tuitions. Uh, yeah, after the school or whatever, and they used to ask, do that for me, do this for me. Or sometimes in government schools the teachers are demanding, yeah, and in private schools also, if you do this then you get that. So we are not talking about these cheap teachers. We are talking about real spiritual masters here. We are talking about one who is already advanced in self-realization and who is already on the path of devotion. So such persons, yeah. So with a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukul. So one should always spend time, so that one can do sushruta. Sushruta is service to Guru. And to do service to the Guru, it's not like, okay, yeah, I'm paying the fees. Okay, after all, I have paid my fee and that's it. No. Sushruta is possible when one is in Gurukul or with Guru, so that the Guru is, yeah, ideally the first class student is one who doesn't need that the Guru is asking, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? First class student is already understanding what is that vision of Guru, what is the mission, and what are the last one? Vision, mission, and hmm, goal, objective. So what is the purpose? How to please Guru in his purpose. So that should be the goal. Hmm. सायं प्रातः उपासिता सीता गुर्वा अग्नय अर्क सुरोत्तमान् संध्ये उभे च यथा वाग जपन ब्रह्मन् समाहितः. So such a brahmachari, what he should do, he should every day in the morning and evening should remember, should be absorbed in the thoughts of spiritual master, fire, the sun god, Lord Vishnu, and by chanting the Gayatri mantra, he should worship them. Uh, Chandamsi Adiyita Gurur Ahutas Suyantritah Upakrame Avasanecha Charano Shirasa Namit. What he should further do is, being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Yeah, we are fortunate that though in Kali Yuga we have such a blessed spiritual masters who are giving us only one mantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Every day before beginning his studies and at the end of his studies, the disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. Of course, that's practical to be when one is living in Gurukul. What about when one is not in Gurukul? What is about them, students? There is no residential schooling system or Gurukul system or hostel system, day school, day college, day university, and all. What work can be done in that is always, I mean, I'm of course telling it a material education system, but we should understand we are not so keen about talking on how to advance in our own material endeavors. For our spiritual endeavors, we definitely need to always focus on uh, remembering the spiritual master every day. Every day should not be where we have not at least once. remember our spiritual master. Remember our spiritual master's desires, visions. They should not go, at least reminding ourselves the goal that we have upon us from our spiritual master. Hmm. The disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. This is very important. Through this, we are saying everything is because of you. I bow unto you uh, and seek your blessings. That should be there. मेखलाजिन वासांसि जटादण्डकमण्डलुं बिभ्रद्यात् उपवीतं च दर्भपाणिर्यथोदितं. Darbhapani means carrying, pani means to hold. Carrying pure kusha grass in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deer-skin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with a sacred thread as recommended in Shastras. This line is very important, as recommended in Shastras. Okay, in Bhagavatam we are coming across this chapter, but we should understand Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. They are our guiding principles through whom it's not just Shastras, because then we say, okay, where are we going to find deer skins? First of all, there are not that many deers, and deer skins, yeah, what is that? World Health, no, not World Health, UNESCO, what it will do. No, we are talking about, then there is sadhus who can tell according to Kala Mana Patra, according to the time, place, and circumstance, say how this ashram can be led, how to lead a brahmacharya ashram. Uh, if not water pot, yeah, if not danda, if not deer skin, if not sacred thread, still one should um, follow the process, the way of leading a brahmacharya life um, in the society, yeah, in where we are living, and not think that, okay, come on, it's too far out, it's not one cannot do that anymore. It's only theory, it's only hypothetical. No, it's reality based on the time, place, circumstances. Sadhus, Guru, and Shastras can help us how to follow this. Sayam Pratah Chared Bhaikshyam. Sayam Pratah, in the evening, Sayam Sandhya and Pratah. Sorry, Sayam is evening, Sayam Sandhya is the conjuncture of evening and afternoon. Pratah is the morning. Charet Vaikshyam. One should go and ask, collect alms. Mm. Gurave tan nivedayet bunjita yadi anujnato no ched upavaset upavas kvachit. If by chance the teacher is not calling for food, no, he should eat only if ordered to take food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may sometimes have to fast. Mm. In fact, brahmacharya life is, of course, a life of straight and simple living. Mm. Which means not think about what will happen after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, 5 years. No, not big plans. Very simple. Understand reality, understand one's own self, understand the world one lives. All these things, when one is occupied in that, there is no time for doing anything else. And then he is serving his spiritual master because his spiritual master is his saving grace. सुशीलो मितभुक् दक्षः श्रद्धदानो जितेन्द्रियः यावत् अर्थं व्यवहरेत् स्त्रीषु स्त्री निर्जितेषु च. Brahmacharya life is the saving grace of brahmacharya life is mm, no contact or less as possible contact with women. A brahmachari should be quiet, well behaved, and gentle, and should not eat or collect more than necessary. He must always be active and expert, fully believing in the instructions of the spiritual master and the Shastra. So, this is important thing. brahmachari is not thinking, oh, my teacher doesn't know everything. Maybe he knows things this much. Yeah, I think he doesn't know this. In the past, there were so many who thought like that. Prabhupada doesn't know that, doesn't know this. Mm, and they lost track and fell down. One should never think that like that. Should fully believe in the instruction of the spiritual master and shastras. A brahmachari should be very careful not to mix with Prabhupada saying, not mix with women or with men addicted to women. Although when he goes out to beg alms, it is necessary to talk with women and with men very much attached to women. This association should be very short, and he should talk with them only about begging alms and no, not more. A brahmachari should be very careful in associating with men who are attached to women. In fact, sometimes this becomes um, impossible. Yeah, come on. In the world, we have a grid of men and women working together, and of course, sometimes polarized uh, presence of men or polarized presence of women, depending on what kind of a job one is doing. Mm, then interactions with women will be there, and with interactions of women, one's discipline of not so much. I mean, why should one interact with women? Yeah, but that's how one should see brahmacharya life is about. Why should one interact with the opposite gender? A woman need not interact with men, and men need not interact with women. Why? Because all the necessities of life for advancement and also for, I mean, both spiritual material advancement can be taken care by just being in contact with their own gender on exceptional cases. And these exceptional cases are when the services come into play, that one is not interested for his own enjoyment, that he is interacting with opposite gender, but actually in service the interactions can happen. And these interactions also should be very very mere, very very little. This association should be very short, and he should talk with them only about here the brahmachari is asking only for begging alms or not more. So the point here it is that one who is in brahmacharya life, he is not associating with opposite gender. Yeah, why I'm saying opposite gender is because, yeah, the girls who are um, not yet married are also supposed to follow this. It's not only men who are eligible to be brahmacharis. No, the girls are also supposed to understand, because they, in later stage, it is said there is no distinction. Yesterday, I don't know, Chitramali Mother, you were there, right? Yesterday, we were discussing that in the Ishopanishad, that men, women alike, there's no difference. They both advance in devotional life. Um, I'm just trying to recollect which was 17 or 18. But the point here is both the genders before marriage should take vows and should maintain them. When they maintain them, I mean, I don't know, unless until British rule came, there was no co-education. There was only proper ashram systems were there, gurukuls were there for men, and also there were systems for girls. These things were taken care. But although when he goes out to beg alms, yeah, when brahmacharis, yeah, this is usually sometimes happen. Even okay, in today's times, there are devotees who become or take a vow of brahmacharya life, and after some time, because the interactions with women increase, then there are cases that they think, okay, I think brahmacharya life is not for me, so I think grihastha life is a better option. It is not that, and the percentage of people becoming from brahmacharya life to grihastha life is high. Why? Because not because they are by nature mm, weak, but one is exposing oneself to such circumstances of um, or such environments which develop the desire to enter into grihastha life. Yeah. So, of course, we'll talk about grihastha life later. But here, one should be a brahmachari should be very careful in associating. The word association is important. If one is coming in contact with the opposite gender for a matter of some service for some time, yeah, of course, with that too under the guidance of the spiritual master, yeah, that is okay. Otherwise, one should be careful. वर्जयेत् प्रमदागाताम् अग्रहस्तो बृहद्व्रतः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमातीनि हरन्ति अपि यतेर्मनः. Pramatini means very dangerous, almost always unconquerable, or indriyani, the senses. A brahmachari or one who has not accepted the grihastha uh, must rigidly avoid talking with women or about women, for the senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of sannyas, a member of the renounced order of life. In a class in Vrindavan, ISKCON, His Holiness Kadamkaran Maharaj was saying, even the best uh, color of saffron, even if such yeah, the best kind of saffron colored dhoti one may wear, a sannyas may wear, still the there is always this agitations. Here it said that even uh, senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of a sannyas. And the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, brahmachari essentially means the vow not to marry but to observe strict celibacy. A Brahat Vrata. A brahmachari or sannyas should avoid talking with women or reading literature concerning talks between man and woman. The injunction restricting association with women is the basic principle of spiritual life. It's nothing bad about them. If we can let them practice spiritual life, they will advance. If we practice our spiritual life, we will advance. But the problem is when we interact, then there is a problem. Associating or talking with women is never advised in any of the Vedic literatures. The entire Vedic system teaches one to avoid sex life so that one may gradually progress from brahmacharya to grihastha, from grihastha to vanaprastha, and from vanaprastha to sannyas, and thus give up material enjoyment, which is the original cause of bondage to this material world. The word Brihat Vrata refers to one who has decided not to marry, or in other words, not to indulge in sex life throughout his entire life. Kesha Prasa then known Martha Snapanabhya Janadikam Guru Stribir Yuvatibhi Karayen Natmano Yuva. If the wife of the spiritual master is young, a young brahmachari should not allow her to care for his hair, massage his body with oil, or bathe him with affection like a mother. So this in this Sapta Matrikas, Guru Patni is one. In the purport, Prabhupada says the relationship between the student or disciple with the wife of the spiritual master or teacher is like that between son and mother. A mother sometimes cares for her son by combing his hair, massaging his body with oil, or bathing him. Similarly, the wife of teacher hmm, is also a mother. Guru Patni. What did we say before? Okay. Guru Patni. And therefore, she may also care for the disciple in a motherly way. If the wife of teacher is a young woman, however, a young brahmachari should not allow such a mother to touch him. This is restrict. This is strictly prohibited. There are seven kinds of mothers. Atma Mata, Guru Patni, Brahmini, Raja Patnika, Dhenur, Dhatri, Tatha Prithvi, Saptaita, Matara, Smrita. And the scriptures are saying that There are seven mothers. These mothers are the original. First is original mother. The next is the wife of teacher or spiritual master, the wife of a brahmana, the king's wife, the cow, nurse, and earth. Unnecessary association with women, even with one's mother, sister, or daughter, is strictly prohibited. This is human civilization. A civilization that allows men to mix unrestrictedly with women is an animal civilization. In Kali Yuga, people are extremely liberal, but mixing with women and talking with them as equals actually constitutes an uncivilized way of life. Nanva Agni Pramada Nama Grita Kumbha Samah Puman Sutam Api Raho Jahyad Anyada Yavat Arthakrit. Woman is compared to fire and man is compared to a butter pot. Therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should also avoid association with other women. One should associate with women only for important business and not otherwise. What is that? Anyada. Otherwise, with other women, no. Yavat. Hmm, not required. The purport. If a butter pot and fire are kept together, the butter within the pot will certainly melt. Woman is compared to fire and man is compared to a butter pot. However, advanced one may be in restricting the senses. It is almost impossible for a man to keep himself controlled in the presence of a woman, even if she is his own daughter, mother, or sister. Indeed, his mind is agitated even if one is in the renounced order of life. Therefore, the Vedic civilization carefully restricts mingling between men and women. If one cannot understand the basic principle of restraining association between man and woman, he is to be considered animal. So one cannot simply uh, uh, strike this instruction out, saying, "Hey, this is not doesn't make sense." No, in Prabhupada writes the last, that is the purport of this verse. It is saying that one should be very careful how to deal when dealing with opposite gender or women. Kalpayitvatmana yavad abhasam idam ishvaraha dvaitam tavanna viramet tatho hi asya viparyayaha. As long as a living entity is not completely self realized, as long as he is not independent of the misconception of identifying with his body, which is nothing but a reflection of original body and senses, he cannot be relieved of the conception of duality, which is epitomized by the duality between man and woman. Epitomized means that is the highest understanding of duality. Yeah, heat and cold, day and night. What are they? Okay, they are opposites. No, when it comes to women and men, then we know what it means duality. Oh, they are two different beings for two different um, constitute constituted and different purposes. Hmm. Purport in here is another important warning that a man must save himself from attraction to women until one is self-realized, fully independent of illusory conception of material body. The duality of man and woman must undoubtedly continue. But when one is actually self-realized, this distinction ceases. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmini gavihastini suni chaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshina. One, unless when he comes to this pandita stage, that he is no more affected by duality, uh, he is always should be careful. On the spiritual platform, the learned person not only gives up the duality of man and woman, but also gives up the duality of man and animal. This is the test of self-realization. Srila Madhvacharya cites the following shloka here. बहुत्वेनैव वस्तूनां यथार्थ ज्ञानम् उच्यते अद्वैत ज्ञानम् इति एतद् दैव ज्ञानं तत् अन्यथा यथा ज्ञानं तथा वस्तु तत् यथा वस्तु तथा मतिः नैव ज्ञानार्थयोर्भेदस्तथा एकत्व वेदनम्. Unity in variety is real knowledge. Therefore, giving up variety artificially does not reflect perfect knowledge of monism. According to Achintya Bheda, the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, There are varieties, but all of them constitute one unit. Such knowledge is knowledge of perfect oneness. एतत् सर्वं गृहस्थस्य समाम्नातं यथेरपि गुरुर्वृत्ति विकल्पेन गृहस्थ गृहस्थस्यर्तो गामिनः. Ritugamina means accepting sex only during the period favorable for procreation. The purport Prabhupada mentioned, it is sometimes misunderstood that a grihastha or householder is permitted to indulge in sex at any time. This is a wrong conception of grihastha life. In spiritual life, whether one is a grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, or brahmachari, everyone is under the control of spiritual master. So this is very important. It's not like Grihastha means I have my independence, because after all, if I pay, then only the spiritual master is maintained. If I earn and pay, then only the society is maintained. If I am the one who is serving all the three ashramas, so I can be independent. No, everyone is subordinate to the spiritual master. For brahmacharis and sannyasis, there are strong restrictions on sex indulgence. Similarly, there are strong restrictions for grihasthas. Grihasthas should indulge in sex life only in accordance with the order of the Guru. Therefore, it is mentioned here that one must follow the orders of the spiritual master. Guru Vrittir Vikalpena. When the spiritual master orders, the Grihastha may accept sex life. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:11. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmin. Indulgence in sex life without disobedience to religious rules and regulations constitutes a religious principle. The shloka is further, the purport is longer. The grahastha must obtain permission from the spiritual master to observe the ritualistic ceremony of Garbhadana Sanskara. Then he may approach his wife to beget children, otherwise not. A Brahmana generally remains a brahmachari throughout his entire life, but although such Brahmana becomes grahasthas and indulge in sex life, they do so under the complete control of the spiritual master. The Kshatriya is allowed to marry more than one wife, but this also must be in accordance with the instructions of the spiritual master. It is not that because one is a grihastha, he may marry as many times as he likes and indulge in sex life as he likes. This is not spiritual life. In spiritual life, one must conduct one's whole life under the guidance of Guru. Only one who executes his spiritual life under the direction of spiritual master can achieve the mercy of Krishna. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadat. If one desires to advance in spiritual life but he acts whimsically, not following the orders of the spiritual master, he has no shelter. Yasya prasadar nagati kutopi. Without the spiritual master's order, even the grihastha should not indulge in sex life. This is in the, verse number 11, which highlights the supreme position of Guru, because Guru is giving us the Lord, and access to serving the Lord is possible through Guru. So one should give complete respect and value to the spiritual master. And in any course of activities, whether it is brahmacharya life or it is vanaprastha or sannyas, or Guru's position cannot be uh, es- not escaped, cannot be skipped. Yeah, cannot be skipped. Um, in fact, something came to my mind. Um, Kshatriyas, marriage. Yeah, this is what I remembered. In Udupi, there is a Pejavar Mutt from Madhvacharyas, one of the Madhvacharyas Matha, Pejavar Mutt. Yeah, when we went for darshan, we see 90, maybe I should not quote, at least above 70% were grihasthas. Everyone were coming and seeking blessings. Of course, not blessings. I mean, why I picked that in reference is not everyone were interested in how to become materially successful, because yeah, they were in proper devotional attire. They had children who were also devotional. Yeah, the whole families were growing in devotion. Why they were going and approaching the spiritual master to seek his blessings, guidance, and make life successful. When I was mm, a kid, I went. My parents took me to Kanchipuram, where Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham is there. Uh, very vaguely, I remember that the mood of the visitors of who were coming. Even there, we can see everyone were coming, or everyone were coming to the at that time Shankaracharya, who is the uh, that time forgot the name. Yeah, he
Uh,
was
Kanchi Mahaparival Prabhuji,
no, not no,
Jayendra Saraswati.
Jayendra Saraswati. Or I think even before him, Vijayendra
Yeah,
Saraswati.
yes, Prabhuji. He was
Uh,
like, they call him Mahapariva Prabhuji. Very, very,
uh-huh.
very,
Okay.
very Chandrasekhar Saraswati Swami.
Yes.
Chandrasekhar, yes.
Yeah, we had the fortune. I mean, at the time when we went, he was not
Oh,
able to move. He was just,
oh, oh,
yeah, sitting. Yeah, but everyone used to come seek blessings. At the time, we didn't know what to seek blessings, but one who is connected to the ashrama, yeah, to this kind of, they know what exactly to seek, huh? What is that Jnana Marga or Bhakti Marga, whatever. So it's not like only it's for brahmacharis or sannyasis. No, it is for everyone. Everyone should have a spiritual master. Then Anjana Bhyanjano Mardha Stri Avalekhamisham Madhu Shrag Gandha Lepalankarams uh, Tyajeyur Ye Brahad Vrata. One Brahad Vrata means one who has taken the vow of celibacy. He should not be interested in putting all perfumes, deodorants, and all these things. Yeah, Stri Avalekha, to glance over a woman or to paint a woman's picture. Lekha Shravanti. Lekha is to draw, to write, to draw. So one is not, yeah, sometimes, right, come on. We see bachelor rooms fully decorated with all Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss whatever, or Bollywood, Hollywood, all these, even to the extent sometimes, I mean, not always, sometimes we also see their Facebook profiles. What are they liking? What are their profile pics? All about opposite gender. So, Sri Avalekha, to glance over a woman or to paint a woman's picture, or Amisham. Uh, Amisham means to eat meat. Mm. So all these things are forbidden. Mm. Brahmacharya or Grihastha who have taken the vow of celibacy are described above should not indulge in the following: applying powder or ointment to the eyes. I didn't even know what is that, applying powders. Does anyone know? Do people apply powders to eyes? Ah, correct. If you know, in this called something called surma, right? In Muslims, they do apply to the eyes. Anyone know that? No.
Yes, Prabhuji, they apply like
They apply kind of a black powder.
black. Yeah.
Yeah. So for cooling. Applying powder or ointment. Ointment, I know it's kajal. And then massaging the hair with oil, massaging the body with the hands, seeing a woman or painting a woman's picture, eating meat, drinking wine, decorating the body with flower garlands, smearing scented ointments on the body or decorating the body with ornaments. These they should give up. Hmm. So, which basically means lead a very, very spiritual life. Yeah. In spiritual life, we see exactly same thing. Yeah. One is allowed. If you remember, if someone had been to Anjanoka in Vrindavan, Anjanoka, there is a big stone, black stone, from where Radharani, who was the Saki who applied to Radharani? Or it was Lalita Saki village? No, it's not Lalita Saki village. Um, Anyway, there is this black stone. Even now, one can take this black ointment from that stone and devotees apply. So no problem. Massaging the head with oil. Yeah. Yes. Massaging head with oil. Massaging the body with the hands. Seeing women or painting women. Oh, this is not our thing. But what we see is we appreciate to see Srimati Radharani, Mother Sita, Ashtasakis, so that we in the mood we are accepting all of them as our mother, and in that mood we see them and seek their blessings to advance. And no meat eating anywhere, no drinking wine, but decorating the body with flower garlands. Yeah, it's not as a decoration but as an acceptance of Maha. If one is offering garland from the deities, yeah, it's a blessing. And smearing scented oil on the body, yeah, this is the Maha. When Abhishek oil is given, all these things, or decorating the body with ornaments. Decorating the body with ornaments is very important, but these ornaments are not materially made, but these are spiritual qualities that devotees want. उषित्वैवं गुरुकुले द्विजो धीत्यावभूद्य च त्रयीं साङ्गोपनिषदं यावत् अर्थं यथा बलं दत्त्वा वरम् अनुज्ञातो गुरोः कामं यदीश्वरः गृहं वनं वा प्रविशेत् प्रव्रजेत् तत्र वा वसेत्. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who is twice born, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, should reside in the Gurukula under the care of the spiritual master. There he should study and learn all the Vedic literatures along with their supplements and the Upanishads according to his ability and power to study. If possible, the student or disciple should reward the spiritual master with the remuneration the spiritual master requests. We may have heard about Guru Dakshina. Guru Dakshina is not just coming in the end. Okay, let everything be done. Once I finish, then I can pay him. No, when were possible, according to one's strength, one should always keep giving Dakshina, or what is it, the word used here? Remuneration. The spiritual master requests. And following that master's order, following the master's order, the disciple should leave and accept one of the other ashram, namely grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or sannyas ashram, as he desires. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning the Vedic literature gives the knowledge that can lead one to understand the absolute truth, Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So, Gurukula is considered as a reformatory educational institution, should be used only to understand Vedic knowledge. In the name of Gurukul, or in the name of Vedic maths, all these things are Vedas are not amplified, and Lord is not glorified. At the present time, there are many educational institutions for training and technology, but such knowledge has nothing to do with understanding of the absolute truth. Technology, therefore, is meant for the Shudras, whereas the Vedas are meant for Dvijas. Consequently, this verse states, Dvijo adhityava budhya cha trayim sangopanishadam. At the present time, in the age of Kali, practically everyone is a Shudra and no one is Dvija. Therefore, the condition of the society has very much deteriorated. So we are always thinking how to use the technology, so that we can, yeah, but technology is not the best thing. Technology, I mean, just like one may think if I have more money, I can be more happy or I can do many more things. So people also have this understanding by technology, we can do many more things. Yeah, but what is needed for human is, yeah, sometimes technology cannot fill in. Technology is actually taking us away from the reality. What is it called? Artificial intelligence, right? From the real intelligence, people have has developed artificial intelligence. Yeah, we think we are advanced, but what is happening to real intelligence? I think there is a ban in some until certain age. One should not be exposed to AI. In or at least the proposal was put up in Germany. Yeah, the discussions are still going on. Hmm. After 16 years only, I think AI is allowed, or something like that. There is something. Yeah. Another point to be observed from this verse is that from the brahmachari ashram, one may accept the sannyas ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or grihastha ashram. It is not compulsory for a brahmachari to become a grihastha because the ultimate aim is to understand the absolute truth. There is no necessity of going through all different ashramas. Thus, one may proceed to sannyas ashram directly from brahmacharya ashram. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted the sannyas ashram directly from brahmacharya ashram. Uh, in other words, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not think it compulsory to accept Grihastha Ashrama or Vanaprastha Ashrama. Agno Gurav Atmani cha Sarva Bhuteshva Adhokshajam Bhutaisva Dhamabhi Pasyed Apravishtam Pravishtavat. One should realize that in the fire, in the spiritual master, in oneself, and in all living entities, in all circumstances and conditions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu has simultaneously entered and not entered. Huh? He is situated externally and internally as the full controller of everything. Huh? So, how to understand this? The Lord, we should see that in everyone Lord is there. At the same time, Lord is also not there, present inside and outside, not in. Purport Prabhupada mentioned realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's omnipresence is the perfect realization of the absolute truth to be attained through the study of Vedic literatures. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. The Lord is situated within the universe, within the heart of every living entity, and also within the atom. We should understand that whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present, He is present with all His paraphernalia, including His name, form, associates, and servants. So one should be careful. This realization is possible if one strictly follows the regulative principles of ashrama. Sri Madhvacharya says, Apravishtas sarvagatah pravishtastu anurupavan evam virupo bhagavan harir eko janardhana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in His original form has not entered everything, apravishta. But in his impersonal form, he has entered, Pravishta. Thus, he has entered and not entered simultaneously. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina mat sthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avastitaha. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. The Lord can defy himself. Thus, there is variety in unity. Ekatvam bahutvam. एवं विदो ब्रह्मचारी वानप्रस्थो यथिर् ग्रही चरन् विदित विज्ञानः परम ब्रह्मादि गच्छति. Adhigachyati means one can understand. What one can understand is by practicing in this way, whether one be in brahmachari ashram, grahastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or sannyas ashram, one must always realize the all-pervading presence of the Supreme Lord, for in this way it is possible to understand the absolute truth. And this is the I will stop here. This is the beginning of self-realization. One must first understand how Brahman is present everywhere and how he is acting. This education is called Brahma Jignasa and is the real concern of human society. Without such knowledge, one cannot claim to be a human being, rather, he remains in the animal kingdom. As it is said, Sa eva gokara. Without such knowledge, one is like a cow or ass. An ass. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Then from verse number 17, it's about Vanaprasthashram. What is it? And yeah, we will cover that next week. Thank you. Any thoughts or questions, comments? How tough is
Thanks, Prabhuji.
brahmachari life, huh? Satish Prabhu.
Thanks, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thanks for the nice recitation, Prabhuji. And yes, Prabhuji, especially the last two verses were nice. The way they were, connecting. We say in Tamil, there's something called as Abhirami Andadi, Prabhuji. It's on Lord Goddess Parvati. So one verse ends and the other verse starts from the ending. So it's a nice poetic recitation. So similarly, I think the verse 30, Prabhuji, one thing ended and they said this element gives rise to that, and finally it ended with the super soul. So I think very nice, Prabhuji. And also the kind of strict rules and regulations that was laid down was nice. And I think if this was the case, world will be a better place and people's life also would be undisturbed, Prabhuji. So I think thank you for teaching this. And it's quite surprising that Bhagavatam teaches everything right from the universe to the way of life to the Lord's pastimes. Never knew about this in my lifetime, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. Good. Then thank you very much for joining, and we meet tomorrow with Bhagavad Gita. I think last concluding verses are there. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grandharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Varabhay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.